Welcome to the judges instructions for classical debate. My name is Michelle Naylor, and I am the coach for I am a coach for Orono High School. And this is a brief tutorial on or brief overview of judging instructions. Any other questions that you have, please direct at either the tournament host or the coach of the school that you are judging for. Any time you have a question, those are very good resources for you. This will not be an exhaustive instructions, but it will be just a brief overview. So please, again, if you have questions, ask the tournament host or the coach who hired you. Thank you very much. All right. So, first of all, thank you so much for agreeing to be a judge of Interscholastic High School debate. You are an essential part of the debate experience, and we all appreciate your willingness to devote your time to this activity. Your main roles or purpose is to, number one, serve as a tournament official. This means that you are keeping time and that you are seeing that all the tournament rules are followed, and you are helping to keep the overall tournament to run on time as well, and that you are also helping to create a positive experience for the competitors and the host school. The second part of your role is to serve as a source of constructive feedback for the competitors and to help them to comment on areas of strength and areas of improvement for students and to help them get better at debate. And last but not least, you are determining the winner, and that is for each debate. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for judging. So what are we going to cover in this video? We are going to, first of all, thank you. We're going to talk about the role of the judge, check and check. We're going to talk about arriving at the tournament and what to do before the debate, during the debate, and after the debate. We're going to talk about notes in the ballot and additional things to keep in mind. Any documents that I refer to will be linked or in the description box for the video. Okay. So, arriving at the tournament. So, when you arrive at the tournament, you're going to find the judges' lounge. You should so the judges' lounge will be, it's a central gathering spot for the coaches and and judges. And if you don't know where it is, you can ask the tournament host. Usually someone will be able to, or always someone will be able to direct you to the judges lounge. There will generally be students or the tournament host at the entrance of the building, and they will direct you to the judges lounge. So you just have to tell them that you're a judge. What should you bring with you? You should have something to write with. You should have something to write on. This could either be your own general notebook or a legal pad or what's called a flow chart. A flow chart looks like this, and it is just a way to follow the speeches in the debate and to take notes so that you are keeping track of all of the arguments and to help you determine the winner. And a timing device. Your phone works just fine for a timing device. All right, so you should arrive at the tournament, within 30 minutes of the start of the tournament, which would be at 9, so arriving around 8:30. And you will arrive in the judges' lounge and you can get some treats. So before the debate, you will have your schedules posted. So schedules for the debate rounds are typically going to be released about 10 minutes before the round. And at this point, you can go to the tournament headquarters to pick up your ballot. This is generally outside of the tabulation room where the tournament officials are getting the rounds ready. So you will collect your ballot, and that'll be at the ballot table. Again, this will be easy to find. Just follow the other judges or ask a tournament host or an adult to help you. You should arrive at that room where your debate is going to be held 5 minutes before the start of the debate round, and make sure once you're in there, make sure all the correct debaters are in the room. Are these kids who show up actually the ones who are supposed to be there? And then they will mark the ballot with what speakers they are. Their name should be on the ballot, and they'll just mark whether they're speaker 1 or speaker 2. You can also do that if you'd like to. The room will generally be set up like this. So you'll have one team here, one team here. There are two kids on each, or two debaters on each team. There will be a place for those students to speak from. And then you will generally be sitting off a little bit out beyond the podium or whatever is being used to speak at, and you will be sitting in with a desk or whatever you choose to write notes on. Once you've made sure that everyone is accounted for the round, and that the ballot is correct, or that the students are in the correct room, you can commence with the debate. And your job during the debate round is to make sure that the debaters follow the official format, and the official format is below, and your coach or the tournament official can run through in detail that official format. I'll give you a brief overview. You should have the classical debate format sheet. You should have a copy of this sheet below. It'll be very helpful for you to, number one, keep time for the speeches, and you may, as the judge, have to prompt especially novice debaters when so that they know when their speeches are happening. Students might walk up to the podium at the wrong time to speak. They also might not know when it is their turn to speak, so you might have to prompt them. During the round, you should be taking notes or flowing the arguments. Again, that's just taking notes on the arguments in the debate. And your coach or tournament official can show you more specifically how to flow those arguments if you're interested. You will also be writing comments onto the ballot. Generally, really great times to do this are during preparation time. So when the speakers are preparing for their next speech, and those prep times come after the constructives and first rebuttal, after that first affirmative rebuttal, and yeah, they occur. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do the cross-examination. There's the prep time. They occur throughout the round. The person who is giving the next speech is the person who can decide whether or not to waive this prep time. Okay, so this prep time is not guaranteed, but generally debaters use it, and the speaker who is speaking next is the one who decides whether that prep time is used or not. They're the ones who can waive that prep time. You can also take notes during cross-examination if you feel like that's appropriate, if you want to. And then it's also important to remember phone etiquette. So during the speeches, make sure that you are not texting on your phone or taking calls or just staring at your phone and checking the news or what have you. Please make the students feel like they're important, and the best way to do that is by paying attention to the debate so you can render a good decision. Okay. After the debate, usually the students will shake hands with each other at the conclusion. And after this, they might want to shake your hand, and it's optional for you to shake their hand. It's also optional to make some brief comments about the debate. Some judges choose to make comments after the debates, other judges choose not to, and will simply thank the debaters for a good round. There is rarely time in the schedule for extensive verbal critiques, and again, it is the job of the judge to make sure that the round finishes on time to keep the tournament itself on the whole going well. Next, it is your job to complete the ballot. So you give any more feedback that you think you need to give to individual speakers. And then the most important part of the ballot is the reason for the decision, or the RFD. Debaters can appreciate your constructive feedback, but are most interested in why they won or lost. And generally, the RFD is a paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences, where you try to parcel out the round and make sure that the team who won knows why they won, and the team who lost knows why they lost. Then you're going to return the ballot to the tab room or the tournament headquarters, which is where generally you pick the ballot up from. All right, so getting more specifically into feedback. You never want your feedback to be insulting or discouraging. Keep in mind that these are high schoolers. Many of them are trying out this activity for potentially the first time. And so, yes, they're going to make mistakes. But there are also always areas of strength and strengths that they have. So you want to make sure you recognize that as well. However, debaters don't need a ballot that's entirely positive, because oftentimes they find this frustrating because they don't know where to improve. So I have here, and I'll link this document in the description box, areas that you could potentially offer for improvement, or things that you could comment on. So there are many, many areas that you could choose to judge on, or that you could offer feedback on. Everything from cross-examination to synthesis of the arguments to credible evidence and logical reasoning could be an area for feedback. All right, so it's also important as a judge to make sure that you are offering offering a decision that is based on the round. Decisions should always be based on what occurs in the debate round. While all judges carry some prejudice into the round, you should make an effort to dispense of them during the round. And if you consider an argument to be flawed, but the opponent does not refute it, that argument should stand. And that is a difficult thing to do as a judge. So I'll just repeat that one more time. If you consider an argument to be flawed, but the opponent or the opposing team does not refute that argument, then the argument should stand. And you can always make those comments on the ballot. Your decision should be based on the quality of the debating, not your opinion of the issues. Common questions judges ask themselves to make their decision are: which team better upholds their main arguments? Which team is more persuasive? Which team provides more effective synthesis or closing statements? And which team provides better criteria for making your decision? There is no single way to decide who wins. These are all effective ways to decide who wins. If you feel like there's a tie, you can go with the skills approach, which involves looking at if the arguments and evidence seem to provide no clear winner, you can award the team with better speaking skills the victory. If the content is equal, usually style will break the tie. Or you can, if that still offers a tie, or that if you want to, you can award the status quo. Our current system may be considered innocent until proven guilty, and so the team that advocates change would have to overcome the natural risk of in the change to win the debate. All right, so again, this is what debaters are most interested in, so the RFD is really important. Here are 2 sample RFDs, or reasons for decisions, on an Iraq topic. It's never sufficient to say that one team had better arguments, so you want to look at why those arguments were better and which arguments in particular you found the most persuasive. For example, here the judge states that the summaries were really what won the round. And here the judge offers, a further reason for that decision. The negative team convinced me that it would be too risky to set a firm withdrawal date. And then you get an idea of how close the debate was. Here's another sample. Here, the round came down to evidence. Affirmative offering good sources to back up their points. So these are both very clear RFDs. You've also got kind of a politeness issue here, decorum, if you will. Yeah. Okay, so once again, thank you so much for judging. Here are just a couple of things to keep in mind that have been issues in the past. Firstly, there is no paraphrasing evidence. Evidence should be directly quoted, and it should be made available to be examined by the other team if they request it. This allows for a level playing field in the debate. Evidence can be used in any speech to bolster an argument. Sometimes debaters will say that you can't, they'll make this claim that you can't use evidence in a summary, or you can't use evidence in a second affirmative rebuttal or negative rebuttal. In general, there won't be much evidence used in those speeches potentially. However, it is always okay to bring in evidence, especially if it's bolstering a previous argument. Again, the person who is delivering the next speech can waive the prep time that they have. And if you have questions, please talk to the tournament host or your school's coach, because obviously this video will not have gone over all of your concerns. And if you still have questions, you should definitely ask. Thank you so, so, so much for being a judge. You are vital, and you are helping these kids participate in an amazing activity. Thank you.